So we are back at the Diamond Project, and you wouldn't be able to tell from looking behind me because it looks like a disaster. We are actually ready for starting to rebuild the ceiling. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to prep to drywall the ceiling. We're going to do the insulation. We have Sonopan here, which is a soundproofing product, the one that I've been talking about throughout this renovation. It is here and we are going to install it. But first, let's take a look around and let's just glance at how we got here and what's next. Come along this way. Anyone can show up with a hammer and build something. It's really hard to build it properly. Sewage air is coming out of this. There's no reason to be left like this. Absolutely none. An experienced contractor never would have done it.
Every year, you're gonna be repainting that thing.
Once you start,
right?
that's
You're
it.
done.
This gives you an opportunity to get out before it gets too expensive. A lot of what happens with contracting happens behind the scenes. It's not always about swinging the hammer. Don't put that on camera.
I understand what you're saying, but the code is the code.
If there's a fire that takes place,
That's not you. I bought something for you.
That's not you.
I'm looking forward to getting at it. Let's do it. When we last kind of talked, we were talking with the HVAC guy and he was putting in those fire stops and I mentioned some things. The ductwork is in here now. Looks really good. I actually had a conversation with the homeowner last night and he said that upstairs in the master bedroom, they actually got air conditioning for the first time. And that's because we had this unit balanced. What that means is someone came and looked at every point where air flows out, measured it, and balanced the system. So that is awesome because that was the #1 thing we were trying to solve. Now, I've already mentioned you saw the insulation, you saw what I did here. All of this insulation needs to go back up today, what we can reuse. I'm hoping we have enough. Otherwise, we'll go grab some. But you can see there's a big pile here. The guys, although it looks messy, we actually took our time and tried to save it. Here's this return air that we talked about, where the other contractor had just put in one. Well, one wasn't enough. So now we have these 2 4-inch that goes to this fireproof box that allows this big return on this side. This is awesome. This is really gonna help. And like I say, it actually feels semi-okay down here today. I'm excited. Okay, so what do we got going on here, right? We're getting ready to drywall. We're getting ready to put back up the insulation on the Sonopan, but we have all these pot lights. So what I had to do, I had to mark where all the pot lights are so we can drill the holes later. And the team is gonna do this room today. I wanted to do one room because the city's gotta come back and inspect. They're gonna stop in today and take a quick look. But where is everybody? What are they doing? Right now, they're upstairs at the truck putting on their safety gear. Insulation is itchy, so we have some gloves. We wanna make sure that we have a proper N95 mask on, and we wanna have our safety glasses on. So they're upstairs right now prepping. So let's go up there and join them. We're gonna have a little team meeting, and then we're gonna start the rebuild. I am so excited about this. Oh, look at Joel's mask. Check Joel's mask out. He's got the heavy duty one. Is it proper though? Do you have new filters? How old are the filters, Joel?
I bought them yesterday.
We're gonna put the insulation in, the rucksaw, put it in as best we can, and then we're gonna do Sonopan. So start on the insulation, and I marked all the pot light holes, and I have that brand new cutter, so we'll cut the holes as we go. It's rucksaw insulation, it's Sonopan channel, drywall.
Cool.
So it's gonna take a while. It's gotta be done right, and we can't have gaps everywhere, right? Let's get at it. All right, you see what the guys are doing downstairs?
Yep.
They're putting in the insulation, and we understand that rucksaw insulation, although it's a great product, it's really hard to get around all of the HVAC and all the wires and all the openings. I mean, in an ideal world, we do 2 layers of rucksaw. That's what the plans originally called for, 2 layers of rucksaw. There's something out there we can do better. It's gonna be this Sonopan. Got a knife? So Sonopan, I've been talking about Sonopan for a while now.
Yep.
I think it's an amazing product because it works like drywall.
Right.
Right? We've never used it before, eh?
No.
Let's unwrap. It's like unwrapping Christmas, eh?
What are all the pros of Sonopan?
You've heard me talk about Sonopan. You've heard me talk about how I want to use this product to solve the soundproofing problem between the two units. Well, you know what? I didn't come up with that idea by myself. I actually reached out to Sonopan because I want to forge a relationship with them. Contractors have relationships with plumbers. They have relationships with electricians. We get that. It goes without saying. Everyone knows that. But what you don't know is that a lot of really good contractors have relationships with vendors or manufacturers. And we have a relationship with Sonopan, and they're going to actually have a virtual call with us so we can talk about their product, the best way to use their product, and how we're going to install it. This is an awesome opportunity for you guys to come along and see a little behind the scenes of how we make decisions to make the renovation the best it can be. This is cool. Let's go. Hey, Mike, I am super happy to have you and to be talking about Sonopan.
Oh, happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I must admit the Sonopan product is a favorite of mine. There's a lot of products out in the marketplace where we're talking about making homes comfortable. And normally when you say comfortable, people think insulation. But there's more to it than just insulation, right? They can be comfortable warmth, but there's comfortable sound.
Absolutely. It's all about quality of life in all different aspects. And sound is, and noise, which is unwanted sound, is certainly an aspect that causes discomfort. But a lot of people don't think about it because you don't notice it until after you move in or after you come into a renovated space. So you see and you think about the hardwood flooring or the granite countertops, but people don't necessarily think about sound unless it's brought up.
Okay, what is Sonopan? We'll let you explain what it is, what it's made of, and why it has such a great STC rating.
Absolutely. So Sonopan is a fiberboard panel, which is a wood panel. It's 100% recycled wood, in fact. And we use noise stop technology. So that's by printing over 17,000 impressions in each panel, it creates an egg carton type effect of varying densities within the panel to allow it to absorb a wide range of sound frequencies. So it's very, very effective across the sound range. And it works really well with all the other standard materials that are typically used for building and soundproofing, like drywall and insulation, potentially resilient channel, any basically standard materials. It adds to that STC rating and that soundproofing.
And the STC rating is the rating in which sound transmissions are calibrated or I guess rated. Like a low number would be bad. A lot of sound goes through a low number. What's really good with Sonopan is it really benefits from being stacked. Right? Like it's not
Correct.
Just use this one product. It's yeah, use rucksaw. That's a great product. Put it in the walls, do the best that you can, but then do Sonopan on top of that. What about just generally cutting it? Is there any type of special blade I need to put on my circular saw? I mean, we know that we can just cut it with a circular saw, but just a regular rip blade will do the trick.
Sonopan is incredibly easy to work with. So you can either cut it with a sharp snap knife, and you'd want to do multiple passes. The way I recommend to do this is lie them all flat, and that way you don't have any tear out on the back of the panel because you're cutting it on top of another panel behind it. So you could do that, or you can use a circular saw with just a standard blade. Now we kind of joke that Sonopan it's kind of like Buckley's in the building materials. It is messy, but it works. So we don't use any glues or chemicals, which is a really good bonus in terms of environmentally friendly and safe to use. But because we don't use any glues or chemicals, you will see the dust particles and the wood dust separate a little bit. So if you can cut outside, that's great, or with a dust extractor or track saw inside. But otherwise, a knife certainly works, or a circular saw is the best, and just expect a little bit of dust.
Well, I mean, we're in construction, right? Like we're in the dust business. You know, that's what I always say. I'm in the dust business. I'm really good at generating dust. But we'll wear a mask. I'm sure it's important to wear a mask when you're cutting anything that generates dust. So we'll wear a mask and we'll get that done. Thank you very much for spending a few minutes with me today.
My pleasure. It's great to see contractors reach out as well, because we've noticed certainly the contractors that want to elevate their business have reached out to us, and they're willing to learn and want to improve what they do and what their offering is to the customers. So thank you.
So it's just a 4x8 sheet. Look at this. Isn't this crazy?
Nice and light.
All right, so it's really easy to install, right? But look at the look at the dust it creates, right? That's why we have to have our safety gear on today.
Right.
But it just screws in with drywall screws. It's no big deal.
No washers needed.
No washers needed. They tell me they're done downstairs. You want to go take a look and see what kind of job they did?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Better be.
Better be perfect. Let's go. This would probably be acceptable for an inspection, but there's still an area here where they missed, right? So we can get them to throw that in. There's still little tiny gaps. Let's give them a hard time that they missed an area. When they're doing the rest stage, I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And then let's get the Sonopan up and let's show everyone how cool it is and easy it is to work with. Cool, right? And then I'll go upstairs and I'll scream.
Okay.
Part of running a healthy construction company is all about having people in place at the right time to make sure the work is done properly. And that's what Joel's role is for me in my construction company. He's a site supervisor. I couldn't be happier to have him on site. He's worked with me for a long time and he really gets what needs to happen. And he really sub in. He's a different set of eyes to just tune things up. Is absolutely necessary to be successful. From a renovation process perspective with this reno here, I couldn't be more excited where things are. All the Sonopan is up, the insulation is in, the drywall is in, and the city inspector has signed off on everything. I can actually start to visualize me giving back the property to the homeowner so they can live down there. There's a few more difficult things that we need to do, but I'm really excited to dig into it with you. And right now, I'm just gonna go and relax a little because I can see this job finished.